Machiavelli Mills TV. So I see the questions bubbling around like, man, do y'all feel bad for Drake? Like, look at what's happening. Like, last night felt like a celebration for black folks, right? It felt like the dang on, a family not a family reunion. It felt like a HBCU homecoming in Los Angeles, right? It felt like that, like amongst the people of Los Angeles, it felt like a HBCU homecoming, man. So a lot of people are asking, like, you know, because of the magnitude of that, because I ain't never seen no shit like that before in a rap beef. The way, like, people came together of LA, like people that you might have seen Drake with previously, you know, people that Drake name dropped in order to diss Kendrick Lamar was on stage with Kendrick because they LA natives rocking with Kendrick. So people like, do you feel bad for Drake? I don't, right? And the reason why I don't feel bad for Drake is, one, nobody felt bad for Meek Mill. When Drake ran Meek Mill through the coal and got him the fuck up out of here, nobody felt bad for Meek at all. Nobody. Meek had corporations dissing him. Corporations that don't even listen to hip hop. Corporations who I know they got people in HR and all of that, and they don't listen to hip hop for real. They were just jumping on the bandwagon to pile on Meek. To clown him, everybody. You had Burger King and all these different fast food franchises dissing Meek Mill. Oh, that was worse than the Meek Mill diss. Oh my God, it was worse than the Meek Mill diss to do that. It was terrible. The Meek Mill diss was horrible. Oh, we're doing them like Drake did Meek Mill. And oh my God, we're doing our competition like Drake always did, like Drake did Meek Mill on the diss and all that. Like, Meek became a punchline for people who are not even in rap culture. And nobody felt bad for Meek for real. Probably unless you're from Philadelphia. Other than that, everybody was enjoying seeing Meek get demise and watch his downfall, laughing it up. He was a joke. People were calling him Twitter fingers for the longest. So Drake, you gonna get these jokes too. Drake gonna get the same, he gonna get jokes too, and probably it's gonna be worse. It's gonna be worse because Drake got arrogant and thought that, I don't know how the hell he ever thought. Like, first of all, a biracial Canadian, G-checking a dude from Compton, a black dude from Compton, California. It was insane to me anyway. Him saying who really bang a set, my nigga YG. Like, bro, you trying to use YG, a dude from his home? From where he from, to diss him? Like, you trying to name drop him like he gonna be riding with you? No, that's not the case, bro. The man said, I get more love in the city that you from, nigga. No, you don't. No, you don't. Them dudes in California not gonna ride for you like they ride for Kendrick Lamar. They not, and it was arrogant for Drake to even think that. So I'm like, nah, bro, like, this is what happens when you start to you become so big that you start to you become delusional about certain things. You know what I mean? Because Kendrick Lamar, he ain't as big as Drake, but he's a big artist with a lot of fans. And his hometown loves him. They love him, they honor, they respect him. You ain't that much of a rap god that you gonna be over him in his hometown. No, because people look at him like a rap god too, lowercase g on both of them gods. But y'all know what I'm saying, right? So it's like, bro, like, no. He was arrogant with that whole situation and the way he went about things. Even, like, first of all, I'm gonna say this, man. It was just not good awareness. He didn't read the room and see what was happening, the way he was being dissed and what he was being dissed for. When the man said, you be rapping like you trying to get the slaves free, like you be trying to get the slaves free, right? Now, when he said that, I know what he tried to mean, like, oh, you trying to act like you were activist or whatever. But to use that line, you knew that could come back to haunt you. Because it seemed like, well, what, are you against get the slaves being free? Are you the type that would be against that? You saying that like it's a bad thing. Are you clowning that? Is that something that you wouldn't be doing? Like, you know what I mean? So it worked against him. But I'm going to say this, though. Furthermore, while I don't feel bad for Drake, Drake is going to be A-okay. He's a bigger artist globally than Kendrick Lamar. All it's going to take is for him to make a hit song this summer, and the world going to be still rocking and listening to Drake. They're not going to forget about this moment, but people will still be back listening to Drake if he come out with a really dope project for the summertime, for people to be out on the lakefront in Chicago bumping, for people to be out in their car with their date, with their girlfriends at nighttime vibing out to. He dropped one of them joints. He gonna be okay. He gonna be fine. You know what I mean? So I don't feel bad for him because he gonna be all right. He got a fan base who don't care about a lot of his fan base don't care about the things that Kendrick Lamar pointed out, you know, and things that I'm gonna point out, right, in this video. They don't care. So he gonna be all right. He gonna be fine. He's a much bigger artist globally than Kendrick. He gonna be fine. Just come out with some hit records, people forget about it. But why I don't feel bad for Drake is, you know, I've often said that even though I'm a fan of Drake's music, I don't hate Drake at all. Again, I've seen the play. Stand next to certain rappers, hood rappers, to give you hood credibility, the street credibility, right? You stand next to ratchet girls to give you credibility with the ratchet girls, to pander to the ratchet girls, to pander to the hood dudes, to give your music edginess. But you do all of that. You use certain aspects of black community for edginess, for you to get propped up in your music and for your image to be propped up. But you don't want to speak up for black folks when stuff is happening to black peoples in the streets of America at the hands of law enforcement and everything. You want to be silent. Even when everybody had a pass to talk about George Floyd. It was a time where if you would have defended George Floyd when that first happened, now it's like people try to act like, oh, it's a bad thing to defend George Floyd. A lot of the white conservatives act like it's a bad thing. But when it first happened, you had even some white conservatives taking up for George Floyd. That was an easy out for Drake to try to be on black, to show solidarity with black people, and he still didn't do it, right? But, you know, and that's the problem. You can't use black culture when it's time to be edgy and be cool and then don't speak up for us when you got this large-ass audience. I ain't even saying he got to put it in his raps. Put out a memo or something. Put something up on your social media. You got a publicist. Why you don't say nothing for black folks, man? Black people want you to stand. We like for our people to stand in solidarity with us, man. Especially when you using the culture for your appeal and all of that, right? Furthermore, man, Drake has done a lot of shit that he could be criticized for. That's why I don't feel bad for him. The man took Big Baby Drum's Cha-Cha song and made Hotline Bling. He took the swag from the whole Cha-Cha song that Drum. I like to Cha-Cha with a Dominican that resembles Taina. That shit was hard. He took that whole little swag from that song and made Hotline Bling. But the nastiest part about it is that Drake originally called Hotline Bling Cha-Cha Remix. Didn't give Drum no credit, no nothing. Just took his whole sauce, and Drum had to come out and make something else. Like, all you want to do is broke that broccoli because it took the momentum off his shit. And his song was fire. Drake didn't even let him get his shit off for real. He came and just swapped and took his momentum. And Drake was Kirby and took that man's superpower and flipped it into some shit so he can use, right? Then he took Smino's whole look with the puff balls and making the faces like Zoolander and shit, even though Smino don't do that. Took his whole look with the puff balls and all of that, right? Then, like, this is my thing, man. Drake came into the game as a backpacker type guy, right? He was marketed as a Jewish kid. First of all, you know, the corporate entities loved him. A Jewish kid that can say the N-word, oh my God, right? That he was a gold mine, right? But when he first came into the game, he was a backpacker. Drake has publicly said that Fonte from Little Brother is his favorite rapper ever, right? Why hasn't he had Little Brother on any of his songs during his ascension, at his height? He don't collab with none of them dudes, no backpackers, no nothing. He only collab with street hood dudes because they give him an image of, you know, of edginess in his music. Why you don't collab with your favorite rapper, Fonte? You don't know who Little Brother is and Fonte is? Look it up. Motherfucker, Fonte is phenomenal. Why you ain't work with Fonte? He your favorite rapper. Why you ain't worked with him since you been up and gave him the Drake stimulus package that you've given all these hood rappers? Because Fonte don't give you any type of edginess to your appeal. He don't make you look cool enough. So come on, man. Like, that's the thing, man. Some say Drake took elements of Kurt Cobain's flow. He ran off with Houston rapper swag in general. A lot of people feel like that, right? And then even on Practice, on Take Care, he rapped Juvenile's Hold Back That Ass Up verse on the song Practice. That was more than just quoting a rapper or referencing a song, and that was crazy. And I'm like, how is that allowed when I heard this? Unless he just compensated Juvenile, and maybe he did, right? But for all those reasons, I don't feel bad for Drake. He'll be okay. And look at the other shit he's done. Peace.